Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm going to be doing a deck analysis. I'm going to be talking about the Steel Song deck that won the Bologna Challenge for Disney Lorcana. It's the deck that I want to be trying to play for Toronto, which is just in a couple days, and so I thought I would kind of take you through the thought process and the analysis for how to break down a deck. So first, I'm going to start with kind of the big picture because it's good to know what you expect to see and what you expect to play and how they kind of play against each other. So a lot of card games are essentially a giant game of rock, paper, scissors, where one deck will beat another but will be bad to another one. There's always a chance with luck and skill that you could beat an unfavorable match, but it's good to start off as in your favor as possible by picking a deck that you think will be good into the room that you're playing. So the way that I'm going to break this down is I'm going to talk first about the Ruby Sapphire kind of turbo items list. That is the list that beat this version of Steel Song in Bologna. It's a bad matchup. It looks like a tough one to win all around. One of the big reasons for this is because of the Sisu empowered sibling and ice block combination pretty much just clear the field for Steel Song. Anything that survives the Sisu emboldened siblings kind of get rid of everything with 2 power or greater. They can kind of get rid of everything else with the ice block by shrinking them down just enough for the Sisu. The thing that I would note about this playing against this deck is this is kind of a ramp deck. And so if you can use the Bare Necessities to get rid of its Fishbone Quill before it comes out, you might be able to buy yourself some time and hopefully kind of quest past them before they get set up. Amethyst Ruby Bounce is the next one. This is what I think will be a decent amount of the room in Toronto, at least I'm hoping. Bounce, it's been favored in since set 2. It's kind of that, Old Faithful, if you will. So I assume people will be going back to it since Bucky was kind of changed. And set 5's not out yet, so it's kind of like a who knows what people will be playing. I'm hoping for Bounce because Steel Song is good against Bounce. One of the reasons for this is because of the removal package that Steel Song has and the fact that you can use singers to sing them and then still be able to play more characters allows you to be able to quest and remove their characters at the same time. So removing their characters like a Flynn Frenemy is really good because chances are you're not going to be playing a lot of high-powered stuff, and the lore that they can get off of Flynn Frenemy will add up very quickly. Bare Necessities is good in this match too to try to get rid of a Be Prepared that you might see to try to kind of save your board state. You can also get rid of castles with it, and castles are problematic anyways. Last deck that I'm going to talk about is Sapphire Steel, like the Cogsworth Dime here. I think this is kind of like a middling one. Could be good, could be bad, depending on the way that you set yourself up. Steel Song's not bad into it, especially with the Bare Necessities. You can kind of get rid of the Fishbone Quill, which will stall their early game ramp, which will be good for you because hopefully it'll give you time to set your own board state up. They do run Baboons, so they do have their own removal stuff, which means that a lot of your early turn plays are not necessarily safe. However, they still will be using a card to get rid of it, so long as that's kind of in your math that this character could get babooned, you could use that as a way to kind of bait it out if you want it. Something to note is a whole new world. You both play a whole new world, and you want to make sure you play it on your terms here. So if they play a whole new world, it means that they had nothing in their hand and they're trying to reset themselves. You'd much prefer to play a whole new world when you know that they have decent stuff in their hand. They've been drawing lots of cards to try to get rid of all that stuff and just leave them with whatever comes off the top. Rapunzel is great in this one too because they have spread damage with Tinkerbell and Grab Your Swords, and it means that unless they take absolutely every card out, the Rapunzel can come out, heal something, and then get a couple more cards for you. Cinderella Stouthearted is also a really good one in this match. She's very hard for them to get rid of. She's got a 5 defense and resist 2, which means they either need to let it go or 2, and then along came Zeus's. She, however, takes out a lot of stuff on their side, so she can take out a Cogsworth or an Ariel, even if they are readied, especially if you keep your songs in your hand for that. So if you need to get rid of a Cogsworth or an Ariel, make sure you have her and the songs. So why am I playing this deck? Like I said, I'm hoping for a lot of bounce, and I think that this deck is good against bounce. That's what I've been kind of play testing against. I really like the deck. I think it's fun. I think it's got the aggro feel with the fact that you can play stuff before you. It's got the aggro feel with a lot of stuff that comes out quick, with the ramp feel as well, where you can play stuff before you naturally should be able to, without it actually being like a ramp deck. We're going to go into like the analysis now of like how to actually play the deck, like the step-by-step thing here. I'm going to start at the end and I'm going to work my way back to the beginning. So how does it win? Going back to how do you mulligan? So how the deck wins is you're going to play a lot of smaller characters that you can get out quick, can get out first and get out multiples at a time, like say Shmi and Lawrence, and the ones that quest for either 2 or for 3, and Piglet. They come out early, which means that you can be questing for 2, 3, 4, 5 lore pretty quick. So the next question is, what cards support or enable this kind of winning strategy? The cards that support this winning strategy is the singers and the songs. And the reason that does it is because you need to stop your opponent from doing what they want to do in order for you to be able to safely do what you want to do. So Cinderella Ballroom Sensation can come out first turn, and then second turn she could sing I Let the Storm Rage On to get rid of a frenemy. Ursula could come out turn 2, which means turn 3 you could be singing And Then Along Came Zeus to get rid of whatever else might have come up. The cards that I have found problems for me that you might want to be aware of and try to deal with them as quickly as possible. Queen's Castle is hard to deal with, however a Shmi and a Lawrence together can take it out. Flaversham's always a tough one to deal with because he's got a 6 defense, which means that Then Along Came Zeus just leaves 1 damage undone to him. He is easy to take out, obviously. After that, there will normally be exerting him to be able to get the card draw, but you want to try to take out Flaversham as quick as possible to eliminate that big card draw that he can do. Other ones are like Sisu and Bolden Warrior, so that can get the bounces like Frenemy really online. Or she just hits for a lot. Bellstrange but Special is a great ramp card, and then all of a sudden her and Dime are tapping for 10 a turn. Tinkerbell also is good to note because when she challenges in, she's essentially like a 2-for-1, especially for this deck where she takes out one thing, then she pops 2 damage on something else. Let's get into what the first couple turns are going to look like. So obviously it depends on what you have in your hand and what your opponent is playing. But here's kind of a good like first 3-turn map out, if you will. For turn 1, I'd either want to play Cinderella Ballroom Sensation so that I could be singing some songs turn 2, or Robin Hood, the beloved outlaw one. Reason I'd play the Robin Hood over the Cinderella is if I had the shift Robin Hood that I could play on turn 3. Turn 2, you're going to want to play something that puts a little bit of pressure on them, like a Piglet Pooh Pirate. You're going to play something on turn 3 that's going to be character-based, hopefully, which means Piglet will be questing for 3. Or you could play a Mr. Shmi. Mr. Shmi is a good choice if you need to be challenging and taking out some of your opponent's pieces. You could also then use Cinderella to sing Let the Storm Rage On, or Bare Necessities to either see what's in your opponent's hand or to get rid of some of their cards that are out on the table. Turn 3, you could shift Robin Hood if you have it, or you could play Ariel. If you are playing Ariel, you're going to be looking for a song. The song is going to be dependent, obviously, on what you draw off of her and then what's going on the field there. However, the good one is A Whole New World. It will reset your hand. If your opponent has been doing any card draw, it will get rid of the card draw or like the card selection that they've been doing, and might kind of brick them there, hopefully. At the very least, it'll reset you if you use Ariel or Robin Hood to sing it. It means that you have all of your ink left to do whatever you want with. What do you mulligan for? We're going to go back right to the very beginning. Well, the ideal thing that you're going to mulligan for is something to play turn 1, something to play turn 2, something to play turn 3, a song, a piece of removal, or like a hand interaction, like a Bare Necessities, and then you're going to want something to ink as well, probably 2 or 3 things to want to ink. You're going to want to bear that in mind when you mulligan, because if you're looking at things and saying, oh, this is a big Cinderella, or oh, this is another character that costs a lot, I'm going to mulligan them away, you could get uninkables. This deck does play a decent amount of uninkables, and you don't want to mulligan away a decent hand that you could have inked half of it and get stuck with nothing that you can ink and thus nothing that you can play. I've got a whole bunch more information on the deck blog on this, along with kind of like how it plays into different matches, things that you should be aware of or strategies that you could use to help you win in the various matches, and all that. So I hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something, and I really like singers, and I hope you do too.